How many dreams are buried here? As I sat at the hospital and looked out at the cemetery, I watched life unfold in quiet contradiction. I saw people standing at gravesides, some weeping softly, some silent, some talking as if their loved one could still hear them. I saw flowers being placed, hands resting on stone, memories rising with every breath. Then my eyes shifted. I saw grave diggers digging new graves, earth turned fresh, space being prepared. Others will be laid to rest soon, not someday, soon, and still, just a few steps away. I noticed a caretaker tending the grounds, trimming, cleaning, straightening headstones, caring for places already marked by loss, life, death, preparation, maintenance, all happening at once. And I couldn't help but wonder how many of the people resting here truly lived, not existed, but lived, not just survived, but became. Some of these residents arrived yesterday, some last week, some last month, some last year. Their stories didn't fade into history, they stepped out of our present. They had plans still forming in their minds, conversations they thought they'd have later, dreams they assumed had time. This cemetery doesn't only hold the past, it holds interrupted tomorrows. Beneath these headstones are more than bodies. There are dreams that never found courage, ideas never spoken aloud, gifts never unwrapped, callings delayed until one day that quietly ran out of days. Dreams rarely die loudly, they fade under responsibility, they suffocate under fear, they are postponed under survival. Many here likely learned early how to endure without taking up space. They showed up, worked hard, loved where they could, carried burdens well, and still never stepped fully into the thing that stirred their spirit. Not because they lacked potential, but because life convinced them to be careful instead of courageous. And yet, God was present, even in the unfinished, even in the almosts, even in lives that never fully bloomed. Grace covers what we didn't complete, but wisdom asks us to notice. That hillside preached to me from the hospital bench. Without words, it asked a question I couldn't ignore. What will you do with the breath you still have? Because standing there, watching mourners grieve, grave diggers prepare, and caretakers tend, I realized something sobering and sacred. Every person in that cemetery once believed they had more time. And still, you and I are here, still breathing, still choosing, still holding unfinished dreams. This isn't meant to haunt us. It's meant to wake us, to remind us that living isn't the same as lasting, that existence is not the goal, purpose is. So maybe the question isn't how many dreams are buried in that ground, but how many notebooks remain empty because we're still waiting? How many callings are stalled because fear still has the microphone? How many gifts the world will never see if we don't choose differently? Now, what dream is knocking on your chest right now, asking not to be carried to the grave? And more importantly, what are you going to do with it while you still can?